The moon, a skeletal fingernail scraping across the inky canvas of the sky, offered little comfort. Each shadow stretched long and distorted, transforming familiar shapes into grotesque parodies of reality. My breath hitched in my throat, a ragged, uneven rhythm against the suffocating silence. The air hung thick and heavy, pregnant with the unspoken threat that lurked just beyond the periphery of my vision. Somewhere out there, unseen eyes watched, waited. The world had shrunk to the small circle of pale light cast by my night vision goggles, a fragile bubble against an ocean of darkness. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. My hand tightened on the cold steel of my rifle, the familiar weight a small reassurance in the face of the overwhelming dread. The scent of damp earth and decaying leaves filled my nostrils, a morbid perfume that spoke of secrets buried beneath the soil. The line between hunter and hunted blurred, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was walking into a trap, a spider's web spun from fear and uncertainty. Tonight, the enemy wasn't just the faceless soldiers we were trained to fight, it was the darkness itself, the insidious whisper of doubt that gnawed at the edges of my resolve. Doubt. It was a venom that seeped into the soul, poisoning the mind and crippling the spirit. I fought it back with every step, forcing myself to focus on the mission, on the men who were relying on me. But even as I pushed forward, a cold knot of anxiety tightened in my stomach. The world felt wrong, distorted, as if I were walking through a nightmare painted in shades of gray and black. The weight of the world, or at least my corner of it, always seemed lighter when I was with Sarah. Her laughter, a bright melody in the otherwise discordant symphony of my life, could chase away the shadows that haunted me. I remembered the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she smiled, the warmth that radiated from her like a summer sun. We met in that small town, a lifetime ago it felt like now. I was fresh out of basic, brimming with a naive sense of duty, and she was working at the local diner, slinging coffee and dispensing wisdom with equal measure. She saw through the facade, the tough guy act I tried so hard to maintain. She saw the fear, the uncertainty, the vulnerability that I kept hidden beneath layers of bravado. And instead of recoiling, she reached out, offering a hand, a listening ear, a safe harbor in the storm. We spent hours talking, sharing secrets and dreams under the vast starlit sky. She told me about her aspirations to become a teacher, to shape young minds and inspire a love of learning. I told her about the nightmares that plagued me, the fear that I would never be good enough, that I would fail the men I was sworn to protect. She never judged, never criticized. She simply listened, offering words of encouragement and support. She had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the world, like my thoughts and feelings mattered. It was a rare and precious gift, one that I cherished more than anything. I remember one particular night, sitting on the hood of my beat-up pickup truck, watching the fireflies dance in the field. I confessed my deepest fear, that I wouldn't come back from this war, that I would become just another statistic, another name etched on a wall. She took my hand, her touch sending a jolt of warmth through me. "You will come back," she said, her voice firm and unwavering. "I know you will. You're strong, you're brave, and you have something to come home to." She squeezed my hand tighter, her eyes locking with mine. "Don't forget that, okay? Don't ever forget that you're fighting for something more than just your country. You're fighting for us, for our future." That night, under the watchful gaze of the stars, I made a promise to her, and to myself. A promise to survive, to come home, to build a life worthy of her love. That promise, more than any weapon or training, was what kept me going, what kept me fighting. A sudden noise, a particular smell, a flicker of light, Anything can trigger the flood of memories, washing over me like a cold wave. My wife, Sarah, she sees it in my eyes sometimes. The haunted look, the faraway gaze. She knows I carry something heavy inside me, something I can't quite articulate. She tries to understand, to offer comfort, but some wounds are too deep to heal. I avoid loud noises, crowded places. The sudden chaos, the sense of being trapped, it all brings back the barn, the gunfire, the fear. I prefer the quiet solitude of my garden, the gentle rustling of leaves, the soothing scent of flowers. I spend hours tending to my roses, carefully pruning and nurturing them. It's a way of bringing order to the chaos, of creating beauty from the ashes. The vibrant colors, the delicate petals, they are a reminder that life can still flourish even in the face of death. But even amidst the beauty, the memories persist. I see the dead soldier's face in the petals of the roses, his eyes staring back at me from the depths of the blooms. The war, it seems, will never truly be over. It lives on within me, a constant companion, a silent reminder of the price of survival. Sometimes, late at night, when Sarah is asleep, I sit on the porch and stare up at the stars. I wonder if the dead soldier is up there, looking down on me. I wonder if he has found peace. I wonder if I ever will. The silence is broken only by the chirping of crickets, a mournful symphony that echoes the emptiness within my soul. The radio crackled, a desperate plea for extraction, but the signal was weak, fading in and out like a dying ember. Liam ignored it. The world had narrowed to this clearing, to the woman before him. He lowered his rifle, the cold steel a stark contrast to the burning in his chest. "Why?" he finally managed, the word a ragged whisper torn from his throat. Anya's eyes, luminous even in the dim light, held no malice, only a profound sadness. Because this war, it takes everything. It leaves nothing behind but ghosts. She raised her hand, a slow, deliberate gesture, and touched the pendant at her throat, the one he had given her so long ago, the one he thought lost forever. "This," she said, her voice barely audible, "this is all I have left of the girl I used to be." The pendant? How? He remembered throwing it into the river, a desperate act of severance, a futile attempt to erase the past. How had she found it? Or had she always had it? A chilling realization washed over him. The woman he loved, the woman he thought he knew, had been living a lie for years. The sound of approaching vehicles shattered the fragile silence. Headlights cut through the trees, painting grotesque shadows on the forest floor. Anya's eyes widened, fear replacing the sadness. "Go, Liam," she urged, her voice laced with urgency. "They'll kill you." He stood rooted to the spot, his mind reeling. "Who, Anya? Who are they?" Before she could answer, a volley of shots ripped through the air. Anya cried out, clutching her chest. Liam reacted instinctively, throwing himself in front of her, shielding her body with his own. The world exploded in a cacophony of gunfire and pain. He felt the searing impact of bullets tearing through his flesh, each one a hammer blow to his soul. Through the haze of pain, I saw them, soldiers in unfamiliar uniforms, their faces obscured by masks. They swarmed the clearing, their weapons trained on him and Anya. He recognized the insignia on their arms, the mark of the Silent Dawn, the extremist group responsible for countless atrocities. Anya was one of them? He looked down at her, her face contorted in agony. You were with them?" A tear traced a path down her cheek. "I had no choice, Liam. They threatened my family." Another wave of pain washed over him, and he felt his strength ebbing away. He knew he was dying. But in that moment, amidst the chaos and the betrayal, he felt a strange sense of peace. He was with her, the woman he loved, even if she was his enemy. He reached out, his hand trembling, and brushed a strand of hair from her face. I understand," he whispered, his voice fading. The lead soldier approached, his eyes cold and devoid of emotion. He raised his weapon, aiming at Liam's head. Anya screamed, "No, please don't!" The soldier hesitated, his finger twitching on the trigger. But before he could fire, Anya lunged forward, pushing him aside. The shot rang out, echoing through the forest. But it wasn't Liam who fell. Anya slumped to the ground, a crimson stain spreading across her chest. She looked up at Liam, her eyes filled with regret and love. I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I never stopped loving you." Her hand, still clutching the pendant, went limp. Her eyes closed, and she was gone. Liam stared at her lifeless body, his heart shattering into a million pieces. The pain in his body was nothing compared to the agony in his soul. The soldiers of the Silent Dawn closed in, their faces impassive. But Liam didn't see them. He saw only Anya, the girl he had loved, the woman he had lost. He closed his eyes, and as darkness enveloped him, he whispered her name. A final act of love, a final act of defiance. The forest fell silent, the only sound the rustling of leaves in the wind, a mournful lament for a love that was never meant to be. The war had taken everything, leaving nothing behind but ghosts. And in the heart of enemy territory, two lovers became one with the shadows, their story a testament to the enduring power of love, even in the face of unimaginable loss. The pendant lay beside her, a silent witness to their tragic fate, a small, tarnished piece of metal representing a love that burned brighter than any war.